Call the Hawarden, Iowa City Council to order on Wednesday, September the 13th at 5:30 p.m. Opportunity for public comment is open business from the community on 1C. First standard agenda item number 1A, approval of the August 23rd, 2023 and the September 7th, 2023 special city council meeting minute. Is there a motion for those approvals?
So moved.
Moved by John. Is there a second?
Second it.
Second by Rob. All in favor of the city council meeting minutes for August 23rd and September 7th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 5-0. Next, remove for approval of claims for payment. Start with Monty for questions.
No.
Travis?
None, thank you.
John?
None, thank you.
Patty?
I have none.
Rob?
No questions.
Is there a motion for approval of claims for payment for today, September 13th?
So moved.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor of the claims for payment for September 13th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Passes 4-1. Open business from the community. Hearing none, move to the mayor's report. Thanks to everyone who volunteered their time or gave financial support for the activities during our Labor Day celebration. Our thanks to Julie Coyle as the chamber director for all of her efforts and energy. Celebration was a great success for our community. Election papers are due next Thursday, September the 21st, so please get those in if you wish. Congratulations those voted on to the West Sioux High School Homecoming Court. Hope that everyone enjoys the homecoming week activities, and please support the Falcons at the game on Friday evening. Our thanks to the EMS squads from Hawarden and Ironton and the fire departments from Hawarden, Ironton, Hudson, and Akron that all assisted with the apartment fire last week. Our city appreciates the willingness to help us out in our time of need. Our thanks to the Sioux County Sheriff Jamie Van Voorst, also those on the staff that are assisting our police department. Our thanks to our officers and reserves for their continuing service. I'd like to thank Wanda Woodley for everything that she did as a city administrator for the past year and 8 months. As the mayor, I'd visit with her about 10 times a week, and I appreciated her willingness to answer any questions I had and the compassion she had for the city and our city staff. Thank her for her work on the Personnel Manual, Avenue L project, city investments, working closely with the department heads, getting projects completed and looking for new ones. Hope she enjoys her new endeavors as she moves from our city administrator position. Failed to read the wastewater and the workers Iowa Week proclamation. I missed that last month. My apologies to our workers for that. Let me read that at this time from the state of Iowa. State of Iowa's wealth of natural resources has been threatened by the degradation of surface and groundwaters, and whereas the water and wastewater workforce of Iowa dedicated themselves to applying environmental passion and science to enhance drinking and recreation waters of Iowa, and whereas they have applied their environmentalism continues to be a vital element in improving the quality of life and protecting the public health in our state and promoting sustainability in our way of living. Therefore, I, Kim Reynolds, Governor of the state of Iowa, proclaimed August 20th to the 26th as the Waste and Wastewater Workers of Iowa Week, signed by Kim Reynolds and attested by Paul Pate, Secretary of State. Our thanks to those people on our city staff who work diligently to keep us protected in that. Lastly, Jacob needs either myself or as the mayor or a city council member to sign off on timesheets and verify the financial payroll every 2 weeks. Please let Jacob or myself know if you are interested. We'll move to staff reports and start with Travis, please.
We've set the citywide cleanup for this fall, October 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay. And as you just reported, kind of a reminder, if the street has barricades, you shouldn't go on them.
Correct. We had an incident today at Highway 10 and Avenue L where someone drove around a vehicle and through the barricades and went through the freshly poured concrete. So
hopefully, if anyone was happened to be out there, if they could.
Yeah, if anybody knows any information, that'd be nice. They'll have to tear out half of it and re-pour it, so,
Send them a bill.
yes.
It's kind of hard to drive through the barricades because they have them, covering the street. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, it was a tight fit, and like I said, they had to go around a vehicle and over a dirt pile, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Jacob?
The only other thing I really have to add right now is that we have the auditors here next week doing their on-site audit. They will probably want to speak with at least one city council member, so I'll reach out to those that didn't do it last year to see their availability this next coming week. We also have our health insurance renewal coming up. I will be taking a look at the plans and the rates and what we can do for next year, starting January through December. So,
Thank you. Jenny?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Carol?
Economic Development had a very good last couple of weeks, pretty exciting. As you all know, we were awarded the Workforce Housing Tax Credit with Skelling Construction, which will be a $1 million award, which we're really excited about. So they will start building the first 8-plex over on the Sioux Motel lots. I did close on those lots yesterday, took the deed over to the Orange City, to the county. So we got that going. We were also awarded, thank God, the USDA Red Leg to pay for those fire trucks. So we were given the $250,000 zero interest loan for that, so we will be able to move forward and get those taken care of, however the accounting has to be done. That's could be Jacob. We were given the Community Facilities Grant, which is $50,000 free money to buy our snowplow truck. So I am working on another grant, hopefully to add another $50,000 to that, so which will bring our cost of the truck down to a very affordable level. I also worked on a lot over by our substation owned by the Fenzens, which was kind of an abandoned building, abandoned lot. They must have had an old Fenzen oil company or something in there. I was able to find him and meet with him this week. He did sign a quitclaim deed, so we were able to acquire that lot, which will kind of clear up our space over there and make it all squared off, which would be good. I do have 2 new grants that I'm starting on. One is a police grant, which is a grant which will help us and give us a bunch of money to hire new officers. There is a ton of money out there for that right now, and I think we should probably jump on board to get some of that money to help us. Also, the truck grant, I'm going to work on that. I did meet with the Sioux County Community Foundation Board yesterday. I will continue to be the Secretary Treasurer on that board, which is really exciting. So Hawarden will stay well represented, and we can keep getting a lot of good grant money from them for our local projects. I'm starting my 19th revolving loan fund this week. So I've written 19 loans in the last year and a half, which has been quite busy and brought over $800,000 into money moving around in our community. So the impact of that money has been huge. I have received calls from Schoenemann's and a couple other companies here in town that have seen the effects of that, thanking for those efforts to keep that money moving locally. Other than that, that's been about the biggest part. I am going to meet tomorrow I'll leave, but Friday I'm meeting with a construction company, rather a large company, trying to bring a big housing project or maybe an industrial building to add to our industrial park. I'm meeting with them on Friday. They're very interested and they're pretty excited. So hopefully we can get something going there. Well, that's it.
Questions for staff or council comments?
Thank you for all that work on the fire trucks and everything. That's really good.
That 8-plex will start this fall.
I don't think it'll start this fall. I think they'll start the work, but I don't know that they'll break ground this fall.
Okay.
Thanks, Carol. Keep getting mail. Agenda item number 3, Resolution 2023-68, resolution for the City of Hawarden approving an interim city administrator contract with Jacob Stoner and authorizing execution of the contract. Council have any comments? First of all, obviously, on the contract itself.
No comments.
No comments.
Nope.
Okay, is there a motion for Resolution 2023-68?
So moved.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Patty. Roll call vote, please. Resolution 2023-68.
Harvey. Olson.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
5-0, roll call vote, Resolution 2023-68 passes. Agenda item number 4, approval of the pay request number 4 from Holstein Excavating in the amount of $521,450.25. It appears that they're pretty much close to being completed. Would that be correct, Travis?
Correct. This is work that's been completed since August 1st to September 6th. There's a lot of concrete pouring in there. That's why it's bigger payment.
Any questions with that? Is there a motion for approval of the pay request number 4 to Holstein Excavating?
So moved.
Moved by Rob. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. All in favor of the approval of pay request number 4, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Passes 5-0. Next agenda item number 5, a bid opening for the Hawarden Fire 1986 Ford F800 and the 1993 Ford Super Duty. We have received no bids, is that correct?
That's correct. We received no bids for this.
Obviously, can't have a bid opening if we receive no bids. We will report that back to the fire chief and see what direction they wish to go, apparently. Okay. Agenda item number 6, discussion on city administrator position.
You're going to get fired already.
2 minutes in, shortest one.
Is there something to be discussed more than what we,
I mean, the job description's in there. If there was
Yeah.
changes to that, advertising could be discussed as far as, do you want to change where it went the last time? It was Iowa League of Cities. There was another utilities place. It went to our paper, Northwest Iowa Review, and there was a couple other free online ones that it was put on.
so like he's serving as in the interim and you're thinking, just preparing for actually
Posting the job.
posting the job? That's what I thought.
I'm okay with that description and
Yeah.
previous avenues of advertising, listing.
Pretty small advertising.
Yep, and I can bring back other options, but like the journal, if you went to something that big, you're talking $1,200 for an ad.
Adds up, 800
So-
on up, yeah.
Is there any type of time at this point that you wish to pursue?
As far as when to have the deadline for ads, you mean?
Something like that, or is there a timeline, or is there time that the council wants the new person within that position, or? Financial incentives, same?
I think it'd be the same.
Yep. And leave it open till
Till filled, or till we decide to close it.
at least 30 days. Or at this point, the end of October.
You know, say put it at the end of October, and I think we're competitive with the salary and where the benefits were.
Once we get that far interviewing process?
In front of whole council, I would suppose.
get that far.
Okay. Any other discussion for agenda item number 6? Move on to agenda item number 7, discussion on a hiring process of city employees.
You want me to start this one? There has been some discussion, I think it was brought to light or attention upon the recent police openings, that currently the police department is, any new officers are hired by the recommendation of the chief and then appointed by the administrator. So we have 2 avenues, neither one which are elected officials, making that hire. I would say that's unusual. It's typical that a position like that would need consent and approval by council, sometimes by the mayor and/or either one. So I think just a discussion as to, I'm not sure how long that's been in place, if the council's comfortable with leaving it that way or not. Currently, the mayor has the following appointments with council approval. So that's kind of the thing. Even the mayor's appointments require council approval of police chief, park board, library, board of trustees, and citizens programming selection committee. The city council has the appointment powers for city clerk, city attorney, city administrator, zoning board of adjustment, and planning and zoning. And then the city administrator kind of has the catch-all. They have the power to employ or discipline or discharge anyone other than those that the mayor or council have the power. And then the police department, the mayor appoints the police chief, and then the police chief recommends other members of the department to be selected by the city administrator. So that's the one major hire, I would say, over any sort of supervisory department or management, emergency personnel, that does not have an elected official as part of the hiring process.
Doesn't the council need to advise and consent on any termination?
Or hiring, you mean?
Well, both. I mean, I was going to get to both of them eventually, but yes.
I just think the council should have the ability to approve the person hired.
So all the
I do
way,
too.
all the way down to the person mowing the cemetery, or is there a stop?
Yeah,
Well,
I would at least like to be notified
oh, I don't disagree
and
with that.
have the right to say no. I mean, I'm not planning on making a big deal, but I do want to be involved in the hiring and firing of city employees. I mean, you know, advise and consent, just like the Senate does, or doesn't do. Is my feeling. I didn't realize it was that way either.
On all employees or just certain employees?
Well, like I said, I'm not gonna, you know, where do you
That's-
draw the line, I guess,
Well,
is
it
my
seems-
question.
I don't know. I think, well, you might be
You come in here and
micromanaged.
say you want to hire somebody to mow the cemetery, I'm gonna say, who is it, and that's okay. I have no problem with that.
That's,
I mean, at what point do we draw the line?
right, that's what I was wondering.
I don't draw a line. I say, bring them all. We don't want that much turnover.
No, we don't.
How many city employees are there?
We have about 25 roughly full-time positions, and then we get up to, in the summertime, about 55.
Okay.
I don't need to do them.
Well, that's what I was getting
The
to.
temporary.
yeah.
summer-
That's where I was saying, how far do you want to go down the line? Because it goes down the line a long ways.
I would say full-time for me.
I would say, that's where I'm at, all full-time.
But if it's a new reserve officer, don't we have to approve
To carry.
to carry anyway, so we know that?
But that's after they've been hired.
Yeah. And I think there's obviously a difference there, full-time versus part-time, because as a reserve, you don't have to be, if there's concerns, you don't have to terminate a reserve, right? You don't have to terminate a part-time. as much as just not put them on the schedule, if there's concerns. I see concerns with an administrator or without consent of an elected official being able to terminate someone. I think those type of things definitely need input.
Yeah.
What do other cities do?
Sure. So I just checked into Sioux Center for the police department specifically. The police chief makes a recommendation or appoints one, and the mayor then approves and consents. Rock Valley, the mayor actually, I'm assuming in conjunction with talking to the chief, selects an officer, and then it's approved by the council.
I've seen it where they're approved per resolution by the council for full-time. And have worked with that, and it went well. The council I, worked with.
So then you would have to bring this back in ordinance change?
Yeah, based upon, the council's direction that they want to go, whether it's all full-time, whether it's department heads, and whatever it may be. I see the concern about drawing the line. Where do you draw that? 25 employees is a lot less than 100.
Well, it's a nice distinction. It's a sharp demarcator, part-time versus full-time. I mean, that draws a line. There's no question about whether we should or shouldn't. So I think that's a good spot to at least say we want a council approval for any full-time employee. Any full-time employee.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Reasonable anyways.
Okay.
Does that give you a starting point?
It does, yes.
Any further discussion on the hiring process of city employees?
I have none.
Move then to agenda item number 7, discussion of November and December council meetings. Generally would be November the 8th and the 22nd. Thanksgiving, if you have looked, is the 23rd. December 13th and 27th would be December meetings. Obviously, Christmas hasn't changed. So.
You would need to talk with the hospital board and see if they've got anything coming up that we need to do.
Maybe a courtesy call at least if they have something that needs to be.
I think I'm being facetious because I made us sit here last year for both meetings, both months.
Okay. Obviously, if we get it out to the public and different boards early, they could certainly adjust their requests or their thoughts. So our thoughts for November and December?
I don't see anything coming up that would threaten to have 2 meetings on
I'm
either
fine
of them
with
yet,
having
so.
one, and I think we did that last year, and if we needed to have one because something came up, then
We can just have a
it
special
usually
meeting.
wasn't the day before Thanksgiving, but it was another time.
Okay, so at this point, we'll just have one meeting first, the second Wednesday, November the 8th, and the second Wednesday in December the 13th. Hopefully no snow on the ground yet at that.
Yeah.
Any further discussion needed with that? Consent agenda is a request from Roosters for a Class C retail alcohol license renewal. And could you give me an update on what the request is from Rola's Rental Party for ownership update?
I just saw that they were just changing the person that was under the ownership for it, so I don't remember the name at the top of my head.
Okay. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I make a motion.
Motion by Patty, is there a second?
So moved. Second.
Moved by John. All in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. We'll be meeting in 2 weeks, so our next regular meeting will be September the 27th. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Patty. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hawarden City Council is adjourned. Thanks for your attendance.